Wah. Ikalani. Eja.
Go yalla.
Naka def?
Yow foo jógee.
Mbaa def la suma tool balaa wari woon de.
Man de man faa tëhi man.
yaa ngi toog di daa dégg son.
Man faa tëhi di. Man suma tool bi fa booy baaxatul.
xanaa doo dee use engrais fertilizer.
Man loolu yow bu wuti ko foofu faa tëhi dem ca dépôt ba dafa wuti fa sori.
gis nga mbayum léegi boo amul fertilizer du baax de. engrais kenn jëndeetu ko ci def.
Boo ko jëlee ci dépôt foo koy amee.
kay yaa ngi doog a ñëw. xam nga Reliance banque bi ñuy wax Reliance.
faa koy dégg waaw.
kay gis nga boo demee Reliance ci boppam. foofu ngay fayee. saako yi nga bëgg nu mu toll. nga fay ba pare ñu jox la sa receipt. gis nga receipt boobu ñu lay jox. moom ngay yóbbu nag ca dépôt ba.
kon fu ne ko dem ci dépôt ba te yóbbu la kay doo ko am.
déedéet.
fu ne su ma jógoon su ma xaalis ba dem ci dépôt ba dama am.
déedéet doo am. foog nga dem Reliance fay ba pare.
waaw.
soo ko dem nag ak sa receipt ca dépôt ba. waa Gambia Granite Corporation. lii la ñu wax.
yow fi ne fa nga jëm ni la.
waaw fa laay dem bi.
kon kay ni jàmm jox la nga jëndaaleel ma. ay yow man de fi di saako doon yàgg te dama ko xam.
maa la ko wax de.
boo àggee jëndaaleel ma.
mbokk yi nii lañ ko bëggee waa Gambia Granite Corporation ñu ne saako engrais 700 dalasi dong lay jar muy juróom-ñaar téeméeri dalasi rek yomb na lool daw leen Reliance bu leen gën a jege si PMS tam dañuy jaay comme ni ko Reliance di jaayee boo fa demee dinañ la jaay te engrais bii pour réew mi kese la bëgguñ mu génn réew mi.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulaling. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gash, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gash Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
Here are 5 ways you can help combat stigma and discrimination as we fight against coronavirus COVID-19. 1. Educate your friends and family that COVID-19 is not specific to any race, nationality, or skin color. 2. Do not associate migrants with the virus. In many contexts, migrants are healthy and key players in nation building. 3. Remind others that discrimination may lead people to hide their symptoms rather than seek treatment. This puts everyone else at risk. 4. Be kind, considerate, and helpful to others in these difficult times. 5. If you know anyone experiencing symptoms, encourage them to dial 1025 for free.
It's a warm welcome here in our studio in Serekunda. This is Star TV News with me, Maimuna Fadera. In the headlines tonight, Press release, President Barrow further declares 7 days of state of public emergency. In a video sent to Star TV, Project Aid Gambia shows how it helps patients at the Jahali Health Center since April. U.S. seeks recovery of $3.5 million in corruption proceeds linked to Yahya Jammeh. Project Aid the Gambia donates 15,000 face masks to Bunyadu and other health facilities in NBR North Bank region. Artists voice their difficulties to the National Council for Arts and Culture. The Ministry of Health embarks on a donation to fight against malaria. On the international scene, inflation continues to rise amid COVID-19 outbreak. Airstrikes kill civilians in Yemen's Al-Jaut province. Qatar released March schedule for 2020 FIFA World Cup. Well, those were the headlines, and now the news in details. In a press release sent to media houses, President Barrow further declares 7 days of state of public emergency in exercise of the powers conferred on him by Section 34(6) of the 1997 Constitution. His Excellency Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, has further declared a state of public emergency in the whole country. The declaration shall last for a period of 7 days pursuant to Section 34(2) with effect from 15 July 2020. The COVID-19 emergency regulations issued under the Emergency Powers Act shall continue to apply during the period of the state of public emergency. In the light of the increasing number of COVID-19 cases and in consideration that 3 COVID-related deaths have been recorded in the country, the public is advised to take all precautionary measures to protect themselves and others in a bid to curtail the spread of COVID-19, while experts continue to monitor and assess the situation. The release ends. Project Aid the Gambia released a video footage showing how they have been handling patients at the Jahali Health Center during the pandemic since April. This video footage shows how Project Aid the Gambia has been handling patients at Jahali Health Center during the pandemic since April. This includes social distancing, washing hands, providing mask consultation treatment, washing and drying the mask production, and an aerial view of Jahali Health Center as the main gate of the health center is closed. Arriving patients are redirected to the kindergarten compound next door as the kindergarten is closed due to the COVID-19 outbreak. It is temporarily used as waiting area and allows social distancing with 2-meter distance before arriving at the waiting area. Patients have to wash their hands and be provided a mask. From the waiting area, patients will proceed to the health center waiting hall for registration, consultation, lab and pharmacy. Patients will return their masks before leaving the facility. The masks are soaked boiled water with detergent overnight. The next day, the mask was in the clean water and then dried before giving out again. The release ends. The Department of Justice filed a civil forfeiture complaint seeking the forfeiture of a Maryland property acquired with approximately $3,500,000 in corruption proceeds by the ex-president of the Gambia through a trust set up by his wife, Zainab Jammeh. Mariam Adam has more on that story.
According to the complaint, Yahya Jammeh corruptly obtained millions of dollars through the embezzlement of public funds and the solicitation of bribes from businesses seeking to obtain monopoly rights over various sectors of the Gambian economy. The complaint further alleges that Yahya Jammeh conspired with his family members and close associates to utilize a host of shell companies and overseas trusts to launder his corrupt proceeds throughout the world, including the purchase of a multi-million-dollar mansion in Potomac, Maryland, which the United States seeks to forfeit through the filing of the civil forfeiture complaint. Yahya Jammeh is a former president of the Gambia who allegedly plundered hundreds of millions of dollars from his country and laundered part of those funds to corruptly acquire real estate in the United States, said Acting Assistant Attorney General Brian C. Rabbit. He added, "Our action today highlights the tireless work of the Criminal Division's Kleptocracy Initiative and their global law enforcement partners to protect the integrity of the U.S. financial system and recover the ill-gotten gains of corrupt officials." Ex-Gambian President Yahya Jammeh and his wife thought that they could hide funds stolen from the Gambian people by buying a mansion in Potomac, Maryland, said U.S. Attorney Robert K. Hoare for the District of Maryland. This action demonstrates that the United States will not allow criminals to profit from their crimes and will seek justice for crime victims both here and abroad. The seizure of this property is just another example of our continued efforts to protect the U.S. financial infrastructure by denying a safe haven for foreign kleptocrats, said Acting Executive Associate Director Alisa Eriks of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement's Homeland Security Investigations, HSI. HSI will not tolerate our country being used by foreign officials to hide their corrupt activities and launder their illicit proceeds. The investigation was conducted by HSI's Illicit Proceeds and Foreign Corruption Group in Miami, with the assistance of the HSI Office of the Special Agent in charge for Baltimore and the HSI Attaché Office in Dakar. HSI established this group in 2003 to conduct investigations into the laundering of proceeds emanating from foreign public corruption, bribery, and embezzlement, drive ill-gotten gains from entering the U.S. financial infrastructure. And Casey Sullivan of the Criminal Division's Money Laundering and Asset Recovery Section and Assistant U.S. Attorney Jennifer Wine for the District of Maryland. Substantial assistance was provided by the Government of the Gambia and Michael Quentley of the Criminal Division's Office of Overseas Prosecutorial Development, Assistance and Training. HSI Miami Illicit Proceeds and Foreign Corruption Investigations through HSI Miami Illicit Proceeds and Foreign Corruption Investigation Group was established in 2003 to target corrupt foreign officials around the world that attempt to utilize U.S. financial institutions to launder illicit funds. Since inception, the group has seized over $500 million in ill-gotten gains traced to foreign corruption. The Kleptocracy Asset Recovery Initiative is led by a team of dedicated prosecutors in the Criminal Division's Money Laundering and Asset Recovery Section, in partnership with federal law enforcement agencies and often with U.S. Attorney's Office, to forfeit the proceeds of foreign official corruption and, where appropriate, to use those recovered assets to benefit the people harmed by these acts of corruption, in partnership with federal law enforcement agencies and often with U.S. Attorney's Office, to forfeit the proceeds of foreign official corruption and, where appropriate, to use those recovered assets to benefit the people harmed by these acts of corruption and abuse of office. A civil forfeiture complaint is merely an allegation that money or property was involved in or represents the proceeds of a crime. These allegations are not proven until a court awards judgment in favor of the United States. Mariam Adem, reporting for Star TV News.
On Wednesday, Project Aid the Gambia donated 15,000 face masks to Bunyadu Health Center, 2 hospitals, 12 health centers, and 13 community clinics in the North Bank region, and to the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital in a move to stop the spread of COVID-19 in the country. Mariam Jabi tells us more.
Project Aid the Gambia, represented by the project coordinator Ibrahima Jobate, symbolically handed over to Modlamin Mane, Regional Health Director of North Bank Region West, 11,000 face masks, which are due to be provided by the organization to 27 health facilities in days to follow. 5 health facilities and 8 community clinics in North Bank Region West will receive the face masks. In North Bank Region East, 9 health facilities and 5 community clinics will also receive the face masks. On behalf of the hospital, Usman Sajok, nursing officer for North Bank West, received the face masks, and he had this to say.
District hospitals, and so many things that I couldn't mention currently here. So we acknowledge the effort they are doing, and I know our region, they did a great job for our region, and they have uplifted the standard of healthcare service delivery in this region. We are very grateful. I mean, coming to the face masks, it's not easy, it's challenging. As we know, globally there's a pandemic, and in Africa it's difficult for people to change their behavior as far as health is concerned. But this is a true story, and we know what is happening. And it has been said at some time, WHO and the others, that the peak for COVID-19 in West African countries would be in late 2020 to early 2021, where most of the pandemic cases will increase in this part of the world.
Modi Lamin Mane, Regional Health Director of North Bank Region West, appreciated the donation of the face masks to the health centers as they urgently needed more protective equipment. He also welcomed the idea of how to use and wash the masks before reusing them. All health facilities had been ordered to follow the protocols of handling the masks provided by the Project Aid the Gambia. In May, Project Aid the Gambia had provided 8,000 masks to 23 health centers and community clinics in CRR region. He added, the face masks have been produced in the Gambia during the last month. The productions have been funded by the German partner organization of Project Aid the Gambia, which had successfully run a fundraiser in Germany. Up to date, Project Aid the Gambia has provided more than 31,000 face masks. Project Aid the Gambia coordinator Ibrahim Jabate said that the protocols guiding the use, cleaning and reusing of the face masks by the staff and patients following the WHO guidelines have been implemented since April in both health centers run by the organization. They are Jahali Health Center CRR and Health Center Bunyadu as well as North Bank region. The NGO also informed the public on another development. By the end of June, Project Aid the Gambia, Germany shipped a 20-feet container to the Gambia. It contained 36 ventilators and 18 hospital beds worth more than $11 million. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Mariama Jabi.
The National Council for Arts and Culture conducted a meeting in which a sad video was played and many of the artists put forward the problems they are facing in the industry. Binta Koli files in this report.
Art is an important tool in any developing country, as beautiful works of art portray our beautiful cultures and beliefs. They attract people, especially tourists, who normally fall in love with the beautiful creations of artists. Mr. Hasum Sise, Director General of National Council for Arts and Culture, said that art has not received the attention it deserves. But with their new initiative, he hopes that the artists will be given the attention and respect they deserve.
Has not received the deserved attention and from across the board. This is unfortunate, but it is our hope that something like this will help to put all of us in a new mindset so that we give the sector the attention it deserves. Okay.
A short video in which many Gambians engage in art were given the chance to show the Gambians the beauty of art was played. It's hard to be an artist in the Gambia because Gambians like art, but they do not know the true meaning of it. They take artists to be the weak individuals in the community. Art should start from the grassroots level to enable students to have a better understanding and know the value of it. According to them, they need to have an annual art festival where they can also showcase their talents. Marlon Jata, who was among the artists, said that the film showed them an important point and also showed them that when they come together, they will actually make it through the difficulties that confront them always. He was quick to add that their main constraint is lack of financial support. The statement in the video, "Never give up," means a lot to us, as it keeps us moving harder, said Omar Baji, Secretary General of the Arts Teachers Association. According to Omar, art is life and it is the fundamental building block of every nation. He later stated some importance of art.
It's an art that they can do to make a living. I used to tell them, not all of you can go to the office. In fact, the offices that you go to, are being constructed by artists. So we give them that inspiration so that they can see that opportunity. Because there are a lot of opportunities in art. But because those at the front line, we who are interacting with the kids.
Another speaker at the event, Sangper Sambu, who was an emotional person, said that it has never been easy for them as they really have difficulties in their field. He added that the Gambia is a small country but also big as it has many big good. He added that the Gambia is a small country but also big as it has many big and good brains. Sambu noted that when you have a good garden and beautiful flowers, you need to water them. If not, they will all die. Starving artists was the name he used to describe them, as they are earning little in their beautiful works of art. He thanked the artists for the selfless work, even though in most cases they face many difficulties. Aisha Fofana, who is a well-known Gambian artist and also the owner of Mama Africa, proclaimed that other countries are moving ahead, but the Gambia is still lagging. She blamed the Gambian government for neglecting the art sector. She noted that she had built her workplace for 5 years and was teaching students to showcase their own talents. All of a sudden, she received a letter from the then government telling her that she should demolish her structure. She added that the Gambia is only concentrating on tax as their main source of income, not realizing that they are leaving the most vital thing behind, which is art. For Star TV News, I am Binta Koli.
On Thursday, the Ministry of Health embarked on a donation ceremony to fight against malaria in the Gambia. The Minister of Health, Honorable Dr. Amadou Lamin Samate, elaborated on the WHO report of 2019 at the Ministry of Health Home of Activities in Kotu. Yamuda Okoka has the rest of the story.
The Minister of Health, Honorable Ahmadu Lamin Samate, said that malaria is still meso-endemic in the country and more funds are needed to be invested combined with the use of other proven effective innovative tools to consolidate and accelerate control efforts to go toward malaria elimination in the Gambia. He further said that in the World Health Organization Malaria Report 2019, there was an estimate of 88,654 malaria cases and 60 malaria deaths in 2019. The minister said that the traditional targets on the vectors is not the only means to control malaria in the Gambia.
Recent reports indicated that mass drug administration as a strategy for malaria control has the potential of reducing the burden of malaria in high endemic areas. Various studies have demonstrated that MDA has successfully been used in the past to control and eliminate Plasmodium falciparum and Plasmodium vivax malaria, and recommend that MDA should be considered as one of the control strategies for malaria. For example, in India, a study conducted on this drug revealed that MDA can reduce the malaria parasite prevalence close to zero, and IRS and surveillance over the next 4 years following MDA led to elimination. In Cambodia, malaria prevalence was reduced to zero and gametocytemia to 0.6% after 1 year following MDA implementation.
However, Dr. Samate said that there are still some gaps associated with the intervention, and one of them is the need for more research in optimal coverage methods to improve the coverage and drug safety. Therefore, he said that the Gambia Elimination Project is of great significance in maintaining socio-economic development, promoting political prosperity, and boosting progress in the Gambia. He added that the cooperation will help in improving the image of the Gambia, fulfilling government's commitment to the people, promoting technical cooperation and exchange in the health field between China and the Gambia to achieve the goal of the Gambia National Malaria Strategy Plan 2020. Babandin Sabali, the Director of Pharmaceutical Services, had this to say.
As I always say in my speech, that our motto is transparency, accountability and efficiency when it comes to handling of medical supplies. And I want to reiterate to Mr. Jain that this donation will be put in good use and will make sure that we account for every single tablet given to us. And I want to further inform and then assure all potential donors there that whatever is donated to us, as Minister of Health, will ensure that we account for everything and will ensure that it reaches the target population. We have in place a supply chain system. We can track each and every item from the start to the end user, and will ensure that all these things are put in place, the inventory is updated, and then the supply system is done in accordance with the aspiration and need for the Gambian people.
The Ministry of Health will continue to contribute its quota in the fight against malaria. Reporting for Star TV, I am Yamundo Kuka.
Well, those were the local news. We will be back with the international news after the short break. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Inumbara
Abra inumbara
Niskoto buka nyamoti
awum to jalti kay
ndungi be doku balla janko
mbedo ko walande bar fenkil nañ jaxal jang nga fem fi jabu ka bete nga fem fi jabu ka bete nga fem fi ko jaxal ta fa malo mbekel nyaati
ne jambando soto angare nyeng leo soto yake jang ila soto fe ngo fam be yuru wara
ye jambando ha woto alhamdulillah sa jambando mo so la nyaadi le
sanyi moli abla kata fan kata depo nyinto hani ni futata je depo to sanyi buka wafi de ka kodo ta mo bulu ka boto dila wo bo sanyi wo botale sanyi mimbe kering wolem nyinti ko reliance ibita wolto ye kodo jo reliance ka risitol dila risito nyinga ku matal de wo risito nyin ni adila e ka wole samba depo nyintu ne risito di yela jambando soto
comme ngi yek mo fu nyami ngamoyle nim fana bodo janko denke mbira jambando sanna
GGC wolem Gambia Groundnut Corporation wolle be mararen nyin jambando la kola andu ila nyin jang ngalo ne nyin jambando ni yake jang ifa mba fola nyela
tumondo bar be jambando kale fana ngaji be nim bodo ya mbita wolto mbita sekro direct nim tara ye rek be jambando sanna oto mbaɗigol ñewode ñul nadal kana mol dahandi jiji si ka jambando data lambole fadala si ceme worwula he ñomo altentu baldi mbati woto nimboru bayta ngata na jambando la ko do jo woto jang sansan sa mbe wutule ngata fo reliance nganna jambando la ko do jo jeto ngana risito ta ngata depo walla ngaji be CPMS katu ñindu la fulol de min suriyata na rek nin tara ngajo je benna jambando sotla al nimbara bak ala baraka hey alhamdulillah ñomu ala tan dubal moro ñena metu abde no sanal
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jeja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulanding. We are also producers of Jeja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gosh, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gosh Group also provides the best security company, Gosh Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gosh Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gosh on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gosh Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.global.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh.
ni ngeen di seetaane télévision mu ngi waaja soppeeku bu baax Excaf Gambia ñoo indi DTT decoder yu bees di ngeen ci am GRTS QTV Star TV Paradise TV ak MTA te doo fay dara DTT decoder yi ñaari junni ak ñeent fukki dalasi rek la mooy jar teg ci dinañ la may lu toll ci benn weer di nga seetaan yeneen channel si biir àddina si te doo fay benn xaalis waaye boo bëggee continuer seetaan lu weesu juróom benn fukki channel da nga war a subscribe maanaam weer bu nekk di nga fay juróomi téeméer ak fukki dalasi rek nga seetaan football leagues yépp si àddina si news African music telenovela film yu neex music cartoon pour xale yi ak yeneeni channel kon nag gaaw leen na gaaw jënd DTT decoder sa Excaf showroom ba ca Sénégambia fi Dream Park nekkoon mbaa seeni agents yu nekk ci biir réew mi call leen 446 1060 446 1061 ak DTT decoder àddina bi mu ngi si sa cati loxo.
Welcome back after that short commercial break, and we now look at the news beyond our borders. Inflation continues to rise amid COVID-19 outbreak. Months of increasing inflation in Nigeria has left many struggling to feed their families. Inflation has gotten worse since Nigeria shut its land borders with its neighbors in August last year to curb smuggling. There has also been a significant increase in the cost of transport, hospital service and pharmaceuticals, and many have lost their jobs due to the coronavirus pandemic. Analysts say unless the government quickly restores citizens and investor confidence, Nigeria will continue to see two-digit inflation figures. Al Jazeera's Ahmed Idris reports from Karu, Nigeria.
Felix Mbamalu runs a spice shop in this market on the outskirts of Nigeria's capital, Abuja. With half the day already gone, 8 customers have come to the shop. Only 4 of them made purchases.
This movement of goods is very difficult and hard, so we have to add the money for us to meet up.
And buyers like Rosemary Godwin are forced to pick up the tab. She's come to the market to buy the family's favorite food.
Usually, we can take beans 3 times a week, which beans is very good for children. But now, we barely eat beans once a week because how it's expensive. Can't buy much.
Inflation has got worse since Nigeria shut its land borders with its neighbors in August last year to curb smuggling. The government has also restricted the import of the country's staple, rice, in order to increase local production.
In May, food prices across Nigeria rose by 1.42%, more than the figure for April. There's also been a significant increase in transport fares, hospital services and pharmaceuticals. The data from the National Bureau of Statistics comes as COVID-19 cases increase and incomes are hit hard.
Rising food prices alone account for about 60% of the country's inflation. Economists blame this on several factors, including attacks by armed groups, low investor confidence, and the crash of global oil prices that fund Nigeria's imports. As a result of oil revenue shortfall, the local currency is losing ground against the dollar.
Loss of foreign earnings have put pressures on the exchange rate, and that has put very huge pressure on prices, especially that we're a very import-dependent country. A second very important driver for inflation, in my view, is the agrarian sector. Over 60% of the Nigerian population of 206 million depend on agriculture for their livelihood.
And at the moment, hundreds of thousands of farmers have been forced from their lands by continuing attacks by Boko Haram and other armed groups. Analysts say unless the government quickly restores citizens and investor confidence, Nigeria will continue to see 2-digit inflation figures. Ahmed Idris, Al Jazeera, Karu, Nigeria.
Airstrikes kill civilians in Yemen's Al-Jawf province. At least 25 people have been killed, including women and children, in an air attack on Yemen's northern Al-Jawf province. Houthi rebels says a family was holding a celebration when the Saudi Emirati coalition carried out the attack. Al Jazeera's Sarah Hayrat reports.
This little boy was lucky to survive the airstrike, but suffered bad wounds. With a few medical supplies they have, doctors tried to bandage his injured foot.
Today we had many people martyred. Some of them are too young. We're feeling extremely pained and sad.
This is the latest horror of a war in its 6th year. Houthi rebels accuse the Saudi Emirati coalition of deliberately targeting 2 homes in Al-Jawf province during a family celebration. Coalition spokesman Turki Al-Malki told Reuters that it will be fully investigated using an internationally approved independent process. This is the coalition's 3rd such attack since June. Just 4 days ago, a family of 10 were killed in an airstrike on the city of Hajjah,
which we see as a blatant disregard for the laws of war, and that's why we as the Norwegian Refugee Council are calling for an immediate independent investigation and for those responsible to be held accountable.
Both warring parties have stepped up their attacks on each other since a temporary ceasefire ended in May. Civilian casualties have tripled. Despite this, the coalition was last month removed from a UN blacklist over the killing and injuring of children.
They did this many times before. That's why I think if the United Nations will not hold Saudi responsible for this killing, I believe that the Saudi can continue.
Earlier this month, Saudi Arabia carried out airstrikes in Sana'a in response, it said, to Houthi drone attacks in Saudi soil.
The Mutual Coalition Command Center and the King of Saudi Arabia will cut the hands that target civilians in Saudi Arabia, whether citizens or residents of the kingdom's territories. The terrorist leaders from the Houthi militia will not be treated softly, and they will be pursued and prosecuted.
With each attack, the sides blame each other for striking first. But in the middle are millions of Yemenis caught in a protracted war in the midst of a pandemic. and the world's worst humanitarian crisis. Sarah Khairat, Al Jazeera.
Qatar releases match schedule for 2022 FIFA World Cup. The match schedule has been released for the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. The format is now in place, but there is plenty of work left to do before the tournament gets underway in 858 days, both in terms of construction and getting teams qualified in a world struggling to cope with a pandemic. The schedule has been designed to reduce the effect on the European football season, and organizers hope the tournament will act as a global celebration of overcoming the coronavirus pandemic. Al Jazeera's David Stokes reports.
We now know that this is where the Qatar World Cup will kick off at 1 p.m. on November 21st, 2022. The Al Bayt Stadium, which in Arabic translates as the house, will be home to 60,000 fans for the start of the world's biggest sports event. The tournament schedule is different this time, as there will be 4 games every day during the group stage, a first in World Cup history.
Being a compact country, scheduling 4 matches a day is going to be quite unique. It's going to give people the opportunity to attend more than 1 match a day. People who aren't attending the World Cup get to watch the World Cup at very convenient times, just by the fact of Qatar's location in the region or in the world means that about 3.5 billion people will get to watch the World Cup at very convenient times.
Games will kick off at 1 p.m. Doha time, 4 p.m, 7 p.m. and 10 p.m, meaning that some will spill over past midnight with extra time or delays. It's the first World Cup to be played in November and December, but this condensed format allows the whole thing to be completed in 28 days, rather than the 32 used last time in Russia, which limits the disruption to the European domestic football season. Most teams will get 3 days off between games, but in the knockout stage some will only get 2 days of recovery. This will be the Middle East's first World Cup, and organisers believe it has taken on extra significance, given what's taking place across the world right now.
Especially considering that we're coming out of COVID-19, I genuinely believe it will be the first global celebration where we will collectively have overcome COVID, and we will collectively be able to celebrate this tournament and create a lasting bond. And that's why I think it's when I always thought it was previously significant, I believe the significance has become even more.
The format is now in place, but there's plenty of work left to do before the tournament gets underway in 858 days' time, both in terms of construction and getting teams qualified in a world struggling to cope with COVID-19. David Stokes, Al Jazeera.
And before we end the news, a quick recap of our main headlines. In exercise of the powers conferred on him by Section 34(6) of the 1997 Constitution, His Excellency Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, has further declared a state of public emergency in the whole country. The declaration shall last for a period of 7 days, pursuant to Section 34(2), with effect from 15 July 2020. Project Aid the Gambia released a video footage showing how they have been handling patients at the Jahali Health Center during the pandemic since April. The Department of Justice filed a civil forfeiture complaint seeking the forfeiture of a Maryland property acquired with approximately $3,500,000 in corruption proceeds by the ex-president of the Gambia through a trust set up by his wife, Zainab Jammeh. On Wednesday, Project Aid the Gambia donated 15,000 face masks to Bunyadu Health Center, 2 hospitals, 12 health centers and 13 community clinics in the North Bank region, and to the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital in a move to stop the spread of COVID-19 in the country. The National Council for Arts and Culture conducted a meeting in which a short video was played and many of the artists put forward the problems they are facing in the industry. On Thursday, the Ministry of Health embarked on a donation ceremony to fight against malaria in the Gambia. The Minister of Health, Honorable Dr. Amadou Lamin Samate, elaborated on the WHO report of 2019 at the Ministry of Health Home of Activities in Okoto. Months of increasing inflation in Nigeria has left many struggling to feed their families. Inflation has gotten worse since Nigeria shut its land borders with its neighbors in August last year to curb smuggling. There has also been a significant increase in the cost of transport, hospital services and pharmaceuticals, and many have lost their jobs due to the coronavirus pandemic. Analysts say unless the government quickly restores citizens and investor confidence, Nigeria will continue to see 2-digit inflation figures. At least 25 people have been killed, including women and children, in an air attack on Yemen's northern Al Jawf province. Houthi rebels say a family was holding a celebration when the Saudi Emirati coalition carried out their attack. The match schedule has been released for the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. The format is now in place, but there is plenty of work left to do before the tournament gets underway in 858 days, both in terms of construction and getting teams qualified in a world struggling to cope with a pandemic. The schedule has been designed to reduce the effect on the European football season, and organizers hope the tournament will act as a global celebration of overcoming the coronavirus pandemic. Well, that's all for this edition of the news. Do join us tomorrow for more news, and thanks for watching. Do have a wonderful night.